Hello everybody, and welcome to my lore video about Akarat. In this video, we're going to go from his origins to the reason why the Zacharum are who they are now, the Cathedral of Light, his journeys through Nahantu, fighting off Mephisto, his sacrifices, and ultimately the ending of Vessel of Hatred. And by the end of this video, you should have a more complete idea of who Akarat is and why he's such a big deal. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe and let's get stuck in. Akarat was born in Shanxi, a land known for its mountainous beauty and isolation. His early life, however, is shaped by his mother's stories of a place called Nahantu, a homeland she left behind but never forgot. Her words carry the weight of sorrow and survival, tales of a once lush land now tainted by a force she calls hatred. She speaks, of course, of the prime evil Mephisto, a demon whose dark influence lingers like poison, corrupting all it touches. From a young age, Akarat is haunted by these stories as they shape his understanding of the world beyond Shanxi. His mother's lessons leave him questioning the nature of humanity itself, caught between two forces, the light and the dark. Akarat grows up with Isivete, a girl from another family who fled Nahantu, seeking refuge from its darkness. Their connection is like that of siblings, brothers and sisters, and they carry an understanding born from shared heritage and shared loss. While Akarat's mother plants seeds of caution about the world, Isivete's friendship becomes a source of strength for him, a reminder that there is more to the world than fear and uncertainty. Together they wonder about the path they might take one day, a path away from Shanxi, perhaps one that will lead them to answers about the nature of life and the hidden forces at work. As Akarat grows older, he begins to feel that his life in Shanxi is constrained, limited to a small, quiet existence. If you know about your Diablo lore, you'll know that Shanxi is where most of the monks come from. The tales of Nahantu and its curse linger in his mind, urging him to understand the larger truth his mother hints at. When the time comes to leave, Akarat does not journey alone. Isivete, now his closest companion, joins him, ready to face the unknown with the same resolve that has marked their shared lives. She becomes his first dedicant, a disciple of the journey they will take together. They set out, leaving behind the mountains of Shanxi, carrying the lessons of their homeland and the stories of Nahantu. As Akarat grows increasingly disillusioned with the world's conflicts, he finds solace in a meditative order devoted to seeking peace and understanding. Among their ranks, he learns the art of quiet reflection and begins to search inward, hoping to understand the forces shaping humanity. It is in one of these deep meditative sessions that he experiences a moment that will define his life. Akarat, lost in thought, sees a brilliant flash of light sweeping across the sky. It is said that this is the coming of an angel named Yaerius, a figure Akarat calls the Son of Light. Through this vision, he senses a powerful message, a call to a path of light, not only for himself, but for all of humanity. Yaerius does not speak, though, but the vision imparts a profound sense of purpose, to embrace and spread the light, to resist all forms of evil, and to inspire others to awaken the strength that lies within them. In the days that follow, Akarat is filled with certainty. He believes that each person is a vessel capable of carrying this light with a capital L, a force powerful enough to stand against the darkness. He recalls his mother's teachings of Nahantu's downfall to hatred and humanity's divided nature, and sees in them a path forward, a way to guide others to resist the corruption and violence that once consumed his homeland. For Akarat, this vision of Yaerius is no accident. It is a sign that he must take up the role of a prophet. His first destination is the vast region of Kyrgyzstan. As he travels, he speaks to those he meets, sharing the message of the light within each person. Through his teachings, he instills a sense of resilience and self-worth in others, urging them to seek the light within themselves as a way to resist the darkness that seems ever present in the world of Sanctuary. His words begin to resonate, and he gains followers who are drawn to his conviction and the hope he inspires. What Akarat means here by the light and dark within each of us is, of course, the vestiges of our Nephilim heritage. We are the sons and daughters of the angel Yaerius and the demon Lilith. With each new city and village, Akarat's influence grows, and more disciples gather around him, eager to learn the ways of the light. He becomes not just a teacher, but a figure of inspiration for humanity. His journey as a prophet has begun, and his message is clear. There is a light within all, and with it, humanity can overcome the darkness. His actions sow the seeds for the faith of the Zacharum. Now, Akarat had promised his mother that he would one day return to his mother's homeland of Nahantu, and he finally does this, accompanied by 4 of his closest disciples, Isevete, which we've talked about, Adavan, Istabella, and Guila. They arrive to find a land twisted beyond recognition, once lush but now marked by hatred. The very air feels heavy, filled with a foul miasma. Poisoned swamps and decayed forests stretch before them, and the creatures they encounter, once harmless, now show unnatural aggression. Despite the dangers, Akarat strides forward, his bare feet sinking into the damp, toxic earth while his disciples hesitate. He urges them to draw upon the light within, guiding them to search for the same light within Nahantu. They sense it, flowing faintly beneath the corruption, struggling against the weight of darkness like a river held back by a dam. Akarat and Isevete, both with roots in Nahantu, feel something deeper, a connection to a presence they cannot fully understand. Their first night is disrupted by an attack from a strange, nightmarish rodents. Before the creatures can overwhelm them, an Umbaru warrior named Tusega intervenes, driving the creatures away. Suspicious, Tusega questions Akarat's intentions, but is eventually convinced of his sincerity. He reveals that the rodents were once peaceful, but are now tainted by seeds of hatred, a corruption that has spread throughout the land. Tusega, whose brother has gone missing while searching for answers, agrees to lead Akarat and his disciples deeper into the jungle. As they press forward, Tusega teaches them how to navigate the hostile terrain, sharing his knowledge of survival. Along the way, they come across an isolated homestead, a scene of blood and loss where Tusega's brother died defending the family within. The grim sight strengthens Akarat's resolve, and he invites Tusega to join them in their mission to cleanse the land. Though skeptical of Akarat's power, Tusega agrees, guiding them to one of the seeds of hatred. When they reach the seed, Akarat and his disciples channel the light together. The seed's dark energy resists, but their combined strength overwhelms it, destroying it in a surge of light. Witnessing this, Tusega is moved and joins Akarat as his 5th disciple, vowing to help rid Nahantu of its corruption. Word of these miraculous acts spreads beyond Nahantu, reaching as far as Khaldum. Drawn by the tales, a young merchant named Jualin travels south in search of Akarat. When he finds him, Akarat senses Jualin's potential, showing him the light and freeing him from inner doubts. Jualin too becomes a disciple, joining the growing group. Together, Akarat and his disciples move through Nahantu, cleansing the land and restoring patches of forest and field. Yet, even as the land heals, Akarat feels a lingering unease. He understands that while the seeds may be destroyed, the force behind them remains powerful. Believing they still have more to learn from Nahantu, Akarat leads his disciples in a period of fasting and reflection, listening to the light within. After 8 days, they set out again, following a quiet sense of purpose that guides them to an untouched glade. This place, unknown to any map, will later be known as Nahantu's Gift. This is where Akarat and his disciples discover the spirit realm. Though faint, the spirit realm reveals itself slowly, almost as if waiting for him to be ready. Crossing into this realm, Akarat becomes the first mortal to enter a place beyond all earthly understanding. The spirit realm is neither land nor void. It is a space where familiar forms take on new shapes, where animals, plants, and beings exist in a way that stretch beyond the bounds of nature. The experience is overwhelming, yet he feels a deep calm, as if the light itself is guiding him through this strange new dimension. For a moment, he fears he may never return, but with the light's guidance, he finds his way back to Nahantu. Now, when Akarat describes the spirit realm to his disciples, they struggle to understand. Its existence defies what they know of Sanctuary. Akarat shares his belief that the spirit realm is part of Sanctuary, linked to it yet existing apart. A place untouched by the conflicts of the eternal war between light and darkness. Though its purpose remains a mystery, he feels its power and knows that it offers them something unique. Realizing the potential, Akarat begins teaching his disciples how to reach the spirit realm. Guided by his knowledge, they soon learn to access this place, exploring its depth and encountering beings and landscapes beyond description. This journey marks the beginning of the Spiritborn, a people attuned to both sanctuary and the spirit realm, able to draw strength and wisdom from both worlds. In time, Akarat and his disciples start the construction of the Vault of Light, a sanctuary within both Nahantu and the spirit realm. Yet, as they devote themselves to the vault and the spirit realm, dark forces stir once more in Nahantu, and seeds of hatred begin to grow again. Akarat feels the call of the light guiding him to his final task, the true purpose behind his journey in Nahantu. Though he does not share this with his disciples, he knows that to fully cleanse the land, he must confront the source of the corruption. One day, a spirit guardian from the spirit realm, Aburan, brings a warning. The seeds of hatred will continue to grow unless their creator is destroyed. Akarat understands that his path must lead him to face the darkness head-on. With the Vault of Light nearing completion, Akarat gathers his disciples for one last celebration. In the glow of their unity, he speaks words of strength, reminding them that the light within each of them will keep them connected, even if they are ever apart. Isivete senses a deeper meaning in his words, her unease growing. Late that night, she watches over him, and before dawn, she sees him depart into the woods alone. She follows him, silent and hidden, as he begins his last journey. Akarat moves deeper into Nahantu, purging seeds of hatred wherever he finds them, healing the twisted wildlife along the way. The farther he travels, though, the stronger the corruption becomes, pressing against him, challenging his strength. Isivete, following him from a distance, is overwhelmed by the dark energy and almost turns back. But her faith in Akarat gives her the strength to press on. At last, Akarat reaches a cave, its entrance steeped in darkness thicker than anything they have encountered. The very air is tainted with an ancient, foul presence. Isivete feels terror as she realizes the cave houses the true source of Nahantu's suffering. She senses a force beyond mortal comprehension, one that could bring even the strongest to their knees. Within the cave, Akarat faces the bloodied wolf, a manifestation of Mephisto, the Lord of Hatred, that we ourselves got to meet. The beast, twisted and filled with malice, exudes a presence so powerful that Isivete, watching from the shadows, is paralyzed by its weight. She feels the pain of being unable to stand beside Akarat in this moment, held back by something stronger than fear. Some would later believe that the light itself kept her back, so she could bear witness to Akarat's sacrifice. The jungle shudders as Akarat and the wolf clash. The ground trembles, trees collapse, and rivers shift course. Akarat fights with everything, but his mortal strength begins to falter against the deathless being before him. Sensing that victory through force is impossible, Akarat chooses a different path. He lures the wolf into an attack, allowing the creature to sink its teeth into him, then traps it in an embrace it cannot escape. In this final moment, Akarat releases the full power of the light within him. The cave fills with a brilliant radiance, the light pouring over the wolf in waves, charring its fur, searing its flesh, and burning it down to bone. The bloodied wolf, a creature of pure hatred, feels fear for the first time. As Akarat's strength wanes, the wolf retreats, fleeing into the depths of the caves, back to the burning hells. It leaves with hatred deeper than before, one that will remember Akarat and Nahantu forever. When the light fades, Isivete emerges and takes Akarat into her arms. He looks up at her with a quiet peace, a faint smile on his face, as his body succumbs to the sacrifice. She holds him, carrying his body back through the jungle to the Vault of Light. The disciples, overcome with grief, struggle to find a way to honor Akarat's legacy. Though divided on how best to preserve his teachings, they eventually come together to prepare his resting place. They entomb Akarat within the Vault of Light, completing the structure as a safe haven for those who seek peace and the light. Isivete lingers, her sorrow deep, and when she finally leaves, her cries reach into the spirit realm. These cries form the basis of what will become the Spiritborn, a people who carry forward Akarat's teachings and legacy, bound by the light and the lessons of his sacrifice. Now, after the death of Akarat, Isivete, unable to accept his passing, takes a big step. Driven by grief and devotion, she pursues his soul into the spirit realm, determined to keep his presence alive. The rituals she performs remains a mystery, but through her efforts, Akarat is reborn as a spirit guardian, taken on the form of a golden lion. The transformation is painful, he later reveals, but he finds strength in the faith of those who hold his teachings close, the Zacharum and the Spiritborn. Now known amongst the Spiritborn as a Lightbringer, Akarat's spirit becomes a trusted guide, his presence in the spirit realm a powerful reminder of the light's resilience against darkness. If we go back to Akarat's death, once that happens, his disciples split up, each of them wanting to spread the teachings of Akarat in different ways. Gulya, Adavin, and Joellen wrote scriptures that brought his teachings around the world and would lead to the Zacharum and ultimately the Cathedral of Light. Isivete was the founder of the Spiritborn, and I'm not sure about this one, but I believe Tusega was also by her side for that. Years later, in Travincal, a Spiritborn named Eru emerges, helping those who seek to withstand the corruption infecting Sanctuary. This is where we are at in Vessel of Hatred. Eru brings Nirel and the Wanderer, that's you by the way, to the Vault of Light in order to place the Soul Stone within Akarat's body, as his dormant powers would keep the Soul Stone and its occupant Mephisto trapped forever. Yet beneath Eru's devotion lies a hidden agenda. The Vault of Light, once a place of peace, soon becomes the stage for a betrayal. Guided by Akarat's spirit, Nirel releases the Soul Stone onto Akarat's body. The room fills with radiant energy, briefly severing the Soul Stone's connection to Mephisto. But the reprieve is short-lived. Eru, kneeling beside Akarat's body, mutters an apology, and, in a sudden urge, opens a dark rift. Mephisto's laughter fills the chamber as Eru reveals his true purpose. He has struck a pact with the Lord of Hatred. In an instant, Eru grasps Akarat's body and the Soul Stone, stepping through the rift to fulfill his bargain with Mephisto. The wolf, a shard of Mephisto, larger and more corrupted than ever before, emerges, his dark energy permeating the chamber. Nirel, the Wanderer, and Akarat's golden lion spirit stand ready to confront Mephisto's twisted form. The ensuing battle is fierce, with Akarat's spirit fighting to protect those who honor his legacy. In a final act of sacrifice, not too dissimilar to his first sacrifice, Akarat's spirit channels the last of his light, helping to weaken Mephisto enough for Nirel to stand a chance. With this act, Akarat's spirit fades, his presence in Sanctuary ending as his form rises to the high heavens, leaving only his legacy behind. The battle against Mephisto may be won for now, but Eru's betrayal lingers, as his escape with Akarat's body sets the stage for a darker plan. Under Travincal, the Soul Stone is embedded into Akarat's mortal remains, a ritual meant to pave the way for Mephisto's full return to Sanctuary in the body of a prophet. And there you have it. That's the life of our good friend Akarat. He sacrificed himself a couple of times. He had some good ideas. And I guess we could talk about the fact that his original teachings, right, the light, where did that come from? Well, it came from an angel. Now, I believe this happened after the Sin War. So what we have here is at the end of the Sin War, the angels and the demons agreed to not interfere with the Nephilim, well, the humanity as a whole. And of course, we know that didn't really go to plan. Mephisto and his brothers, they corrupted humanity. And so did the angels do their kind of own thing, you know? And so we have an angel here who saw someone who was prone to becoming a prophet of light. And they appeared to Akarat. And then he took that on board. And there was truth to it, of course, and he shared the teachings, right? And the effects of that are really positive for Sanctuary, of course, but as everything with religion, it kind of distilled itself after many years, becoming what we now know as the Cathedral of Light. So it's an interesting story, and I don't think we're done with Akarat. Akarat now is definitely dead, and if heaven has anything to say about it, they probably welcomed his soul into heaven. And my personal thoughts is that he'll come back as potentially another angel or a vessel of light, or, you know, it wouldn't surprise me in a way to fight Mephisto in the final act. If we get a final act, we'll see. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching the videos. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. See ya.